Alright, we're back. I guess we killed the last one. That's fine. It's fine. It's mostly fine. You know, just completely broke everything. It's fine. Oh, man. Alright. Just trying to make sure everything is back online. Yeah, everything looks like it's good. Alright, cool. We are back in a singular piece at the very minimum. So let's get back here. So we're just going to draw a position right there. So we're going to input mount, or I guess we just do and we'll do this. So we're going to navpos dot append and then we do local mouse position dot x get local mouse position dot y. We're going to do 0 for now. Yeah, it doesn't take an int and then a single float, unfortunately. We're going to try it. We're going to see if this works. Oh, you know what? Q redraw. Oh. Silly. There we go. Alright, cool. So it is correctly getting our positions. Ha! We can actually just like draw a trail of where we're going. Look at that. Nice Bezier curve. But that's good. So we're getting that. So that's just kind of drawing our circle. So then what we'll do is we're going to store the current, let's see here. If I remember right, append adds to the end of the array, right? Okay, it's an alias of pushback. Okay. Oh, this automatically provides type conversions. That's nice. This might work or it just might straight up crash. We'll see. Wrong one. Oh, did not crash. And that was not intentional. I mean, technically, it's pronounced the exact same way. Then we're going to do a draw line. And we're going to do it from position X, position Y to this plus from angle and then we'll just run the same color and we'll do the width as 1. Not you. You. You know what? This needs to be longer. I keep watching the old version. I don't even know why that still like says the default. Oh, it's because we're not redrawing. Let us redraw so that's active, and we'll set up a another way to do this. Just because drawing, as far as I know, it's not very efficient. It might be, but for now, obviously, it's just so it works. But this currently is working. Yeah, it's always facing, so that's good. So that's working. So currently we have a valid position and a valid angle. Now, let's see here. If we're using navigate, we're going to clear navigation position. So now we should just be down to 1. Yeah, I keep doing that. I need to figure out the hotkey for just running the scene. Good. Now, let's see here. Actually, I have an idea. We're going to do or is action just pressed. Instead of navigate, we're going to do navigate continue. We're going to run this as well here. And then we'll run this separately. And then bam. Now I wonder, will this trigger? So for now, we do that, we do that, we do that. Good. We're going to see if this is working properly. something tells me that me holding shift is not really working how I want it to. So, okay. We should be getting, let's comment out this bad boy and let's comment out that bad boy, because we're not trying to diagnose that right now. Keep right in the wrong scene. Let me move this wrapper. Sorry for the crunchy noises. Alright. So, is nav true? Is they're both true. Okay. So this is simple. There. No. So this should be doing that, and then if we, okay, yep, we get multiple. Cool. So, for anybody who's wondering, because of our like little logic states that we just put here, right? You know, once we've defined this, right, chaining is just now removing the previous one. We want to remove the previous one if we're just creating a completely new point, and that's created without holding shift. So if we don't hold shift, we want to just set that as our primary. Okay, we're moving here regardless. We hold shift, we're chaining them together. And that's good. Ooh, let's not do that. So everything's chaining, which is good. Now, we're also going to, I think that's all we're going to do for now. Now we have to create some sort of logic that does this yellow part for us. How do we tell the ship to move from its current position and angle to its new position and angle realistically? Because this ship, right, it's going to have a lot of power going forwards and a decent amount of power going backwards. It'll have some power to strafe, and it has some power for rotation. And we have to ask, not just what is the most optimal way to do this. I'd argue there's probably a bit less power. Not only are we asking, okay, what is the most optimal way to do this transition? How do we want to do it? Because there's multiple ways to do this. We want to get here as fast as possible. What could be the fastest thing is turn, right? So there's a couple ways we can do this. We can go from facing this direction, you know, our little ship. So we could be facing this direction. Oh, we gotta add that smiley face. So we could be going from facing this direction, and we might say, okay, the fastest way to get from this position to this position, gotta add a little smiley face. So there's a couple ways we could do this. We can point this way first, hold W, flip, right? We can flip, reverse our thrust, and then rotate back. You know, that way, you know, this ship basically is turning, going as fast as possible, turning around, slowing down, and then arcing itself back to point in the right direction. And that would be most optimal. That would be the fastest way. But why not just strafe? Why not just maintain, you know, our other alternative is, well, we can just strafe sideways and just keep facing that direction. And I don't know which one's better and how we want to do it. Because somebody could say, okay, well, if you're super close like this, maybe you want to keep that same angle, or, you know, just when we're within a certain distance, we could do it as like, okay, this is our strafing radius, right? And then everything outside of this radius is the, you know, be as efficient as possible. So if we have like a strafing radius like this, right? Some arbitrary strafing radius. We could have the ship move, and then just start facing the right direction. Right, and then that's when it goes into kind of WASD mode, right? So pink mode equals strafe. So I'm thinking we could do that. Yeah, I'm thinking we can do that, right? Ooh. What if we set the mouse distance as the strafing radius? No, I don't think that's right. But I do think there should be a radius where we just start to strafe. You know, we're not just going to keep like accelerating towards that direction the whole time. Because I'm not sure how we really want to path this. Because, yeah, we could strafe the whole time, but... I'm thinking, like, once we start slowing... yeah, I think once we should just set some sort of radius, right? And once the ship is in that radius, it's going to face that direction and just strafe. We can always change this behavior. If we have a ship that's like super good at strafing, maybe that's all it'll do is just strafe. But I'm thinking we set up this AI for the ship, we can translate that AI into everything else, into everybody else. Sorry, just typing out, just find some people on Discord. There's this one person, Lulu, on Discord. They said, if I give up on this space project, they want all my code. And I gave them dibs. But I'm not giving up. Anytime soon. I gotta give them a upside down smiley face, because it's one of my favorite emojis. But Lulu did help me a bit with some of the ideas for the game, so it's very nice to, you know, have a fallback. I wonder if there's anyone on the Godot Engine Discord right now. Not that many people I feel like talking to right now. I don't mean to say that in a negative way, just depends on the group. Sometimes you have a really cool group and You know what? Let's pop in. We'll see how cringe the Discord is, and we can just mute or leave it, depending on how things are going.
It's Boilers, Matt,
Oh, hi, Lexo.
Oh, hello, Maxie.
How are you doing?
What's that?
How are you doing?
Doing good. Doing good. I'm working on the AI right now for my game because I'm trying to get the player controls in, so I need the AI working for the player controls.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of just where I'm at. How are you guys doing?
Grateful right now.
Yeah, it was floating.
He was just floating around. Can you guys talk real quick? Sorry.
Correct.
This is awkward. Discord is still working.
Oh, that's Discord screen audio. Why is that a separate window? Oh, never mind.
No,
Never mind.
that's a Linux version of Discord, so you can have the native version. You can't have it.
Alright, I think everything's set up
Okay.
properly.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, everything's a channel 1, so we're good.
I love the
If they're a little loud, let me know.
collision shape that you're shooting there. Clearly, that's his force field. You should add force.
He actually had one. I think I still have one. NPC accumulator was script.
Alright, yeah, I think we're good.
No, I got rid of it. But he did have a. I just copied and pasted it from my player's movement script right here. This right here. Right after you move and slide, you do a for loop of everything you're colliding with, and then you just add a force. And you can just walk through boxes and
No,
stuff.
that's not what I meant. I meant like the shoe roll force field. So when you shoot it, it looks like you're actually shooting
Oh.
force fields instead.
Oh, this is close enough. Yeah,
Like if it's too hard to render the bullets correctly, just make it the incorrect way.
I'm not sure if I want to keep this code or if I want to.
It's getting late. It's 10:30. I actually forgot what I was doing.
Yeah, this move to functions definitely. Let's set up a strafing radius. Oh, are you guys working on AI, or what are you guys working on? Like NPCs and no maps?
Oh, it's target reachable. Oh shit. Okay, so doing is target reachable. Oh yeah. Global position at distance 2 -5 and it's target reachable. What did I name my agent? Okay.
We're going to use pink because that's what we use in the demonstration. And this should draw the first frame. I don't think it did. Huh?
Nice.
Oh, welcome, Booch.
Yes, I am a very private person. Mind your own fucking business.
Yep, and this is the group that's in the Discord, always. Ooh. This is what one of them is working on right now. Bunny is. Looks sick. Hey Bunny, it looks sick.
Change my name.
Yeah, I'm actually very pleased that I got this working tonight. So I thought I was gonna be doing this forever.
Yeah, I think it's been ancient rules. I was so bad
You're a good programmer, Maxie.
I am. I'm a bit too ambitious sometimes, though. I should have
What?
We're gonna do something. We're gonna get stupid here. Okay? We're gonna get really stupid. Going to.
love your shader physics test. I don't know what it does, but it implies too much.
I can't even remember what this did.
Is it a
Oh yeah, it's an old map. I don't have it anymore. Rail nobody know. I think it's my sky. I think I use it for a sky.
yeah, it says this. It says sky color. It's a sky.
But it's still green.
No, it,
Okay, so
it's interesting that's outputting
we're gonna do
that strong strafe. Oh, you know what? It shouldn't matter. I thought it was local.
I think there's a thing to close them.
Yeah, I thought. Oh, I guess 20 is just a really small radius. I didn't realize I refactored this to use the same code. It's weird.
Probably need a height. Maybe set the height to 0.
It's interesting though that you can see the lighting affects it. I didn't realize lighting affected the draw process. Well, like I thought like func draw and everything, I just assumed it was like just for like debug stuff. I mean, it makes complete sense now that I think about it, but I just didn't think about it. Well, we're gonna want that way bigger. Alright, so this is our strafing radius, and we're gonna want it just as like an outline, but what we can do is
That just T-points while you collected. That looked amazing.
yeah, I just figured a way how to cheat the system. Let's go. And then we'll just run that with like a super low alpha, and I think that would just be good for just the debug. Yeah, that works.
I'm not working on them just yet.
I just saw your name in it.
Yeah. I'm messing with FL Studio instead right now, so that's why I changed the name. I want to get that sorted. It's a music creation for me,
Oh yeah.
music composition. I want to make music for my games.
You're a very good program. Use that in FL.
Alright, I'm not a fan of this function
I
here.
got a separate Windows computer. I just dusted it off just for FL Studio.
Yeah,
Nice.
no, I'm getting my old computer specifically for FL as well.
I haven't used FL Studio in a minute. I've been trying like to mess with it, but I just kind of stopped because I don't understand sound.
I was looking for my childhood computer the other day and booted up an old computer we had in the basement. It had like Windows 7 on it. That was an old crank. You know what computers with cranks? And like to like send loops and stuff when you started. Now hard drives. Rough to
Oh, I remember getting a computer that just went beep 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 beep, and it's like blue screen.
Jeez. I feel like my XP computer always did that. Alright, so all of this is kind of useless. As in, it's all useless.
Why?
Yeah, we're just gonna leave these functions here, but we're not gonna use them. We're just gonna get these boys out of here,
Okay.
and then what we'll do is we'll start facing.
Visible path. It still shows path because the navigation page also has a debug enabled if you want it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to mess with the navigation agents and see like how I can use them in my game, because it's got physics-based movement, so I don't know if it'll be easy. As in, it won't. Ow. Yeah, sometimes you get like some good groups to be in. For now, I want to. I was intending for it to be like a sparse space, you know, like desolate shit. But I'm thinking like I want it to be like closer encounters. So it'll be interesting because like I made the like shooting system and everything for like high velocity gameplay, just so it's perfect, and then I can work from there. That's why I was like super picky about making sure like the firing system was good, because I didn't want it so like the ships missed for any reason.
I feel like your bullet stuff that you use for shooting might also kind of be necessary for movement.
Well, yeah, I mean it's like relative velocities and everything, so I mean that's just the guns firing. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, but your ships also kind of have similar behavior, I'd imagine.
No, the bullets don't move. They're impulsed, so they fire from the weapon, and that's it. There's no other behavior to them.
Yeah, but if you have like a ship interested in figuring out what it might collide with and what it might have to avoid.
Oh, kind of like reverse those inputs. Yeah.
Exactly, it would have to imagine what everything else is gonna be at. It sounds like a difficult problem. I don't know.
I mean, it definitely is. But for now, that's not my issue. Like, I'm gonna get to there. I just need it first navigating properly, which is gonna require it to calculate like because it's physics based, right? It's gonna have to calculate. Okay, how am I gonna path to this position, anyways? Because you can't just thrust forever, else it's just gonna oscillate back and forth. So it has to like break itself. But like currently I have like pretty high drag, just so like the ships just kind of just slow down on their own.
I'm never sure how many sex jokes I can get away with.
How many
I was thinking like, yeah, maybe your ship's dead.
What?
Don't worry about it.
Alright, I'll let you.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I really have to restrain myself.
You are sick.
Yeah. If we try.
Oh, like step up? Yeah, GL. I've never had it work in Unity. I don't think it's going to be any easier in Godot, but it might be.
I had them making it up 3 out of like 27 steps, and then they just quit going up. Could never get more than a couple steps out of it.
We.
And I was like, do I have to write like a custom?
Oh, I'm gonna need like a strafing solver. Shit. Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Something else.
That's when I made a ramp instead of stairs.
I thought that's what you're supposed to do anyways. And one of us died. I think Booch died. Alright, sorry for the flashbang.
What?
Oh, I thought you just stopped talking.
I did.
Yeah, but it like sounded like you died.
Oh.
Okay, fair. Ha! I don't. Yeah, I gotta figure out like a strafing solver for my ships, so that's gonna be fun. You know what's not gonna be? Fun. I'm live streaming right now on YouTube, if that matters. Yeah, if you want to. No, I have you guys. I have you guys on there, but if you guys start saying really sus shit, I can mute you guys. Or if I need to like actually talk.
Oh,
Who, me? Who?
yeah. I just hopped into your stream.
Oh, I don't know what a Voinoid
Oh,
diagram
that
is.
was at the very beginning, like Fleshy Cell Game Dev.
Oh, that's a fun one. The fleshy cell one is fun. That's a whole different deal. I'm not working on that right now.
Yeah.
Oh, the squishy polygons. Those are fun.
Yeah, Voronoi. Those are Voronoi cells, it looks like.
Oh, that's what they're called. I'm gonna be
I got
honest.
a question for you then. Have you ever implemented a Voronoi diagram on a 3D object? Because that's what I'm kind of stuck on at the current time.
A, no. B, I have no biological experience.
Oh, it's just not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I did. The hardest part is just like having it behave. Yeah, because what I did is I went on Wolfram Alpha and I found I found some code on, I found the like what you're supposed to do to get the incident line or something like that. I can't remember what it's called. So I'm assuming you can just interpolate that into 3-dimensional so it creates a plane. The only thing I could recommend to make it, well, I was gonna say the only thing I can recommend it to be faster is like what I did is I just loaded an array with every directional value, and I checked the dot product to see if it's in the same direction before I even calculate if it intersects with that line or plane, just to speed things up a bit. Yeah, because
There's an algorithm that you can use where like you use something called Delaney triangulation, and then that. Yeah, it's just all I heard is like what I've heard from other sources where it's like you use the convex hull of a bunch of points, and that's the Delaney triangulation, and you can use that to make Voronoi. But for the life of me, I cannot figure out how to make how to do the convex hull of a 3D object. Is anyone got any experience with that? Yeah. It's like
oh, true, because you gotta make the polygons.
I know there's like something called like the GIF wrapping algorithm, but I've been trying to look for like there's this one like quick call where it generates the convex hull really quickly, I think, and I can't really find anything about like how to implement that.
Oh, I'm hearing this stream. That's why it's
Oh yeah, you probably want to mute it.
it's like right. Oh yeah, the points, right? So
Yeah, I'm trying to use the Voronoi diagram to like generate like a continent mask, and like I'm just gonna use points on a sphere and then just generate the convex hull of that.
yeah, I googled.
Let me see, like there was a tutorial online that was kind of but like it kind of been like
All right, so this is the velocity. So this is the velocity I want to go for. I don't. All right. So our problem right here is this is our velocity, and so this could be 0 for our initial purposes, but what we want to do is we want to take this. We want to take this velocity plus some input thrust, and we want that to ideally we want this here to equal a new velocity where the difference between this and this is less than the difference here. So right now I'm just kind of breaking down the problem. So yeah, so we want our new thrust to be I'm just trying to think here. Yeah, because in some arbitrary time step, right? So this distance is like an arbitrary time step. Okay, I think this is a solution we can work with. Because different values we can get. So okay, we want to minimize the difference, right? This is our target, is we want our end goal is for the difference between our current velocity and our target velocity. We want this to approach 0, right? We want our target velocity to bring us to this, right? To this point. Now we can eventually set some sort of arbitrary radius, which is that strafing radius, right? The strafing radius, things will change. This is until we get to that point. So, and they're talking right now. So while I'm like thinking out loud, I have them muted. But yeah, so this is where we're at. So what could well, we kind of end up let me draw this a little better. Okay, so this is kind of our force map, right? So this kind of is the maximum amount of force we can add in any specific direction. So let's see, because okay, let's imagine our velocity is 0, right? Our velocity is 0, so yeah, we have a couple different directions that we can go in. So this is max 0 reference braking. And this is without any all right, take care. So this is any I guess this is kind of more the strafing algorithm. So these are the two extremes, right? Now, we also have the inverse, where we're going into those directions, right? So actually, we want T-ref thrust, because this is like all an area, right? But well, it doesn't matter, because right, this is all going to be in reference, but right now we're just assuming 0 velocity. So 0 velocity, right, we're just going to head straight to there, straight to the target. So how do we interpret our current velocity with this? Well, I think what Maxi was saying earlier made sense, where they said we want to basically interpret things like we would. So what if we want some thrust in this area, right? Maybe. Okay. Well, okay, at 0 here, okay. Yeah, because we can, if we add our negative velocity, because we're subtracting our velocity. Gotta say frequently. Well, let's just assume... Yeah, that's not gonna work. Because this will just result in us orbiting. This will result in us orbiting, right? So this is just these two velocities added, right?
Really?
I mean, sometimes.
Yes and no. Like, you can say it when you're not high.
I think you can, but does anyone?
It's funny.
I'll say munchies every now and then.
Yeah. I know what about the monkeys. Get some chips, munchies chips. Very salty. Get some munchos, that's the name.
So how do we get this? Are any of you guys seeing the problem I have right now?
Oh, you're not streaming your YouTube.
Yeah, I'm cringe.
I was just gonna play your stream.
Oh yeah, your stream ended. Yeah.
Right, ended?
You streamed 2 weeks ago. That's not your live stream.
No, I'm streaming right now.
Oh, you know what? We probably have to go to his channel.
Oh, you linked a live stream in your like Discord thing, but that's not the.
No, that's not the current one. No. I
I realized why he didn't understand. Why you talk about selling?
yeah, that sounds a little confused. Oh, I see. Yeah, it bumped up in views. No. You'll see the clearly AI generated image.
That's me.
Hell yeah, it's probably just me. So this is my problem right now. It's
I want to give them like.
thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. So this is the problem I have right now. I'm sorry, I'm still not used to being on push to talk. Yeah. How do I take my current velocity, the target position I want to be, how the hell do I transition between the two? So I'm just trying to think of what to do. Yeah.
You've solved this problem before. I was there for that.
No, I know that's firing projectiles. It's different. This is different because we're trying to just get a vector for us to change our direction, right? Because we're already moving in this direction. We're just trying to change our own body. We're not trying to just fire a new body that happens to hit it. Yeah. So we're trying to dynamically move us. So my original problem, or the original thing I wanted to do was just aim for this like target point, right? The position we want to be minus our current velocity. Aim for there to cancel it out. But that doesn't really work, I don't think, because I think that would just cause us to orbit. Yeah, that's the easiest way. This right here, max, I don't know, zero reference, braking. So this is like the opposite of my velocity. Going straight in this direction will just stop me completely. Going opposite and then going towards this would be... So in one world, I can just stop and then just strafe over there, right? But... For now, we're going to assume zero velocity is what we want to arrive at.
So you probably want to speed up for half the way and then slow down for the other half of the way, right?
But what is half? No, yeah. That's why I'm thinking that's why I'm thinking in current velocity and then target velocity being the point we want to, because if velocity is stronger than that point, then we're going to try to be braking that whole time. If that makes sense. Yeah, this is where I'm stuck.
Yeah, no, that's I have no idea.
Yeah. Hi, Maxi.
We've done this before. We can figure it out.
I yeah, well, this is very familiar to the thrusting, or to the projectiles, but so that's what I'm just trying to. That's what I'm trying to think right now is how I want to do that. I can mute Discord if you're gonna be real edgy. Okay. I mean, I guess orbiting wouldn't be the worst thing. I'm just gonna assume it's gonna cause me an orbit. I'm not sure. If I aim for this position, right? Because if I aim for this position, then it's delayed by a bit.
Yeah, that's not.
I'm trying to think now.
Well, I probably should live stream some of these days to actually see what I'm coding.
I like to live stream because then everything is like documented, you know. And then eventually I'll just be able to like run back if I ever want to be one of those YouTubers who's like, "This is my project," and I'm like, "There you go."
You can put a time lapse and you can see like huge pauses.
Wow.
I honestly wish I had like dev vlogs for my game because there's so much stuff, so much cool shit that I did where I'm like, yeah, if I put it out, that stuff is in the game, but I think people would appreciate it so much more if you had like, look, today, hey guys, today I implemented, I don't know, like, NPC schedules, like that likes button, smash that subscribe.
Yeah, smash that. Yeah, subscribe.
I think I'm gonna ask my 11-year-old cousin, like, hey, could you show me one of your YouTube videos? I want to copy that out. So,
I think actually this would work.
so you want the velocity to that, so your target velocity right now is the velocity in the direction of the enemy. Let's not concern ourselves with if we can slow down before we hit it. Let's just concern ourselves with what is the target velocity, whether it be positive or negative.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, okay, let's say I add the opposite of my velocity to the target velocity, effectively, target position velocity. Right now I'm just working with stagnant points, and then I can move over to the more complex of everything is moving.
Yeah, if you just add your negative velocity to the target velocity, and then your target velocity is the direction, like your maximum velocity in the direction of movement.
Yeah, then I think that would... Yeah, then that would eventually cause me to converge. In theory, you know.
But I think the problem is your negative velocity, that doesn't quite work, because you don't just have your negative velocity. That doesn't make any sense, because you don't have a maximum velocity per se.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying is like, this is my current velocity, right? So let's assume we're not moving at all, right? We would just thrust, you know, if we're keeping our orientation, right? We're just assuming we're keeping our orientation. The purple ring, that's like the combined thrusts, like the angle that we'll eventually get from it. Technically, it's kind of something like this shape. You know, so if we, that the purple, okay, so the purple, so each yellow axis is each of our thrust directions, right? We have forward, we have reverse, we have left, and then we have right. The top right corner is technically the front of the ship, whatever you want, you know. So when we add two of those, you know, similar axes together, so forward and left, and any combination of the two, right, you know, 100%, 50%, 75% of each direction, the purple ring ends up being the maximum force we can put in any direction.
Yeah, that
So technically the force map is the whole area of the circle. So the blue circle, that's our target position, right? And our target velocity would be up to that position. So we would add thrust just directly inline to it. So that makes sense, right? So we just add thrust directly inline, we're good. But now,
so you might not have an impulse.
it would be just basically a series of impulses every frame, which effectively is just a constant force.
Yeah, the problem is like, the problem is that with impulses we said, okay, so we're gonna have one single impulse and it's gonna land us at the target. But with this we say we're like more conservative. We're saying we will continuously
Yeah. I mean, oh yeah, I guess that's a good like perspective. It's like, okay, what would accomplish us getting there in one single impulse?
because you have that calculation.
Well, that
Figured that out in November.
yeah. So in this case, though, we're just limiting the amount of impulse we can put per frame.
Exactly.
So it'd still be the same direction, though, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was thinking along those lines, because I think the problem doesn't really change. It's just that our capabilities are changing. Because we're not a missile, we're a lot more squishy, and it would kill us too, because then we
Well, okay, if we were to just fire an explosive impulse in like this green direction to that added position, that would get us there directly. But that's why I have this maximum force map, because what if like we want to break more? I don't know if that'd be the fastest if we have to interpolate. What am I talking about? This is the exact same problem we had before. Oh my god.
the problem you had before basically said since you have an impulse, it's actually a much simpler problem than you had before. Because with a single impulse, your velocity stops.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you then gain a constant velocity. So you can kind of assume where you're going to reach the target. But with this problem, your velocity also changes over time. Your velocity changes over time. Which is going to make things even more complicated.
So I'm thinking,
But the
Oh.
funny thing is, I think the original solution that you had was an iterative solution, right?
yeah.
Because you were like, okay, so
Well, that's what the Department of Defense does. They had an iterative solution for their weapon systems.
So with our current velocity, or with this target velocity, this is where we would end up. But but then you have difference, and then you kind of apply the same function again, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of the solution that we had. So
I'm thinking,
is that the reason we had that iterative solution is because essentially your difference is only so drastic because you have an impulse, because you have such an insane difference, right?
yeah.
So if you have a much harsher limit on that, the same iterative step would still make sense, I think.
Yeah, now that you're saying that, it probably is just the exact same solution. I'm thinking, okay, what if we have an iterative time step distance, right? Because in the weapon, right, we were like, okay, it'll take us X amount of seconds to get here. Let's iterate on that and get an more accurate distance, time, and prediction. In this case, it would be almost the inverse. So let's say this force map radius that I drew is actually over, like, let's say a single second. You know, all these velocities are all over 1 second. Or over some amount of time step.
Because the problem that you have is you have a distance to your enemy and a velocity that you're trying to move in. You want to cancel out your velocity basically to reach the target. And your velocity and the target velocity again ends up to just over 20 minutes.
Yeah. Well, this is what would end up, I don't know if you're seeing me draw in pink, but this is what would end up happening if we calculated it off of 1 second of impulse. Or some time step of impulse. If that makes sense. Like, okay, we're going to add this green force over a certain amount of time. Like, we're going to calculate off of that. If we did that, we would end up with this velocity relative. And this distance is going to be less than the original, right? So then we're like, okay, what if we thrust towards that position? No, that wouldn't work.
No, that wouldn't work at all because you're not just going to take a second. You're going to take a lot longer or a lot shorter.
Well, that's what I'm thinking about, like the time steps, you know, just some time step, right? Of like impulse.
So okay, let's say we kind of try to figure out how long it So we know.
Oh, like this distance then, right? If from our position, how much?
I think that's how you need to go. No, this is actually you actually need a different solution. I think.
Yeah.
So let's say you thrust in the direction of the enemy.
We would just orbit.
Reach the enemy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, now I'm where you stuck. You took me a while.
That's why my first thing was, okay, let's aim at because I'm thinking in this diagram, the area we want to aim for, that I'm thinking, is somewhere in this region, right? Does that make sense? Like, just under the green line. I feel like that should be, somehow, that should be the region we should aim for.
Yeah, what if you look at it like really on the so we don't need to cancel out. We don't need to cancel out everything. We just need to target where we that makes a lot more sense. Okay. So we're not moving at all. We have zero velocity. Our enemy has velocity.
Yeah, that's where this line here comes in. That's why my initial target was that. Yeah, that's why that green point was my original target, right? Because that's where the enemy is. But we're still moving away from. What if we do that twice?
No, we're not moving away from the enemy at all. We're not moving at all. At the beginning of the movement, which is every frame, only our enemy is moving. That's the red. And so we just want to go where the enemy will end up if we can go to the enemy. And
Got it.
with our velocity, with our thrust, we can speed up halfway and slow down halfway, which shouldn't be too hard to calculate. And so if you set up that calculation for like basically movement over length of time it would take us to reach a point. And then you calculate how long it would take us to reach a point and how long it would take the enemy to reach a point. And we equivalate that point. Then you should be able to figure out the time that we just both it would take us both to reach that point. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. So
That wouldn't even be an iterative solution. That would just be a solution.
no, that's what I thought about the projectiles, and it didn't end up being that way.
Okay, even if it
Yeah.
I think that should still be a starting calculation.
Yeah, so this is kind of what I'm thinking then is oh, but it adds. It's exponential. Shit. Okay. Cuz we're adding thrust. It's not a flat value. We're adding thrust over time. So our thrust keeps going faster and faster and faster. Well, I guess that would be part of the iterative solution. No, like I'm not gonna just set my velocity, right? Yeah, but that adds to my velocity each frame. Well, no, we're right. I keep forgetting. We're adding velocity to the enemy, right? So if we're iterating, we just add that velocity to the enemy position. Yeah. So well, that's why I was saying, like, okay, if we're calculating the enemy position, if we calculate that the enemy's velocity is going to go past us, that means we're slowing down, even though we haven't reached the enemy yet. So at that point, it naturally will hit that halfway point. It'll be like, oh, it's time to be halfway. So yeah, we'll just assume that. Yeah, no, you're right. So whatever this iterative time step is, that's kind of like our, like, hey, it's time to start braking. So this time step, like, calculation is gonna have to probably get tweaked. But okay. So I need another crackhead board. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so I guess this would be iterative then. Because it's like, yeah, no, yeah, that's literally what we did last time. So okay, here, I don't know if you see the second screen there I started drawing on, but so here, this is that first time step. I'm gonna mark it in like green. The second time step would be kind of like, imagine we're filling this in, right? So during this time step, we're filling this area out. What's happening then? Well, this is happening. This red line is kind of filling. Is it delayed that bad? Yeah, that's just the first marker. Okay, so it's like delayed by like 5 seconds. So I'm thinking, okay, so I'm thinking this, right? So if we're interpreting that we're getting, I'm just trying to think now. Oh my god, my mouse is, there we go. Ah, man, this is tough. No, right, because we're assuming then, yeah, we're doing the exact same thing. So the second step, they're gonna start at the green point, and then, okay, I got it. I think that they'll well, I think they'll come from this because, okay, so our first step here, right? Well, we're calculating, right? This is all in calculation. We calculate that first step. Yeah, it's exactly the same as a projectile problem. Oh my god, I can't believe I just realized this. It is the exact same thing. So we're changing. Yeah. Yeah, because here we have that thrust, or we have the velocity of the enemy relative. So we're just assuming we don't move. We have the velocity of the enemy, and we're adding this velocity. So we add that green velocity here. That's within our thrust radius, right? We add that vector to there to calculate that next point, and then we are calculating. Okay, what velocity do we need to get to there? So. Because that would be added, right? Because that'd be added to our velocity, so it'd be subtracted from there. So then we'd be subtracting this region, so then this would be coming up like this. And then we're basically iterating at we're iterating some amount of velocity, right? Does that make sense? Like, we're calculating all of these positions, and then we're aiming for... Are we aiming for the lowest position? Okay. Yeah. So this is what we're getting at first. Yeah, so that time, the time it takes to travel, is equal to the distance divided by... It'd probably be our max thrust. Alright, we'll questionably add over half. Because, yeah, we could just thrust... Yeah, because we would... excuse me. We would have to stop. So... Yeah, that kind of look like this. The problem is this radius of, like, our maximum thrust kind of, it cuts off, you know, in this case, before then. You know, that's our thrust over some amount of time. I might be thinking of that wrong. Yes. Yes, so we have to, what's it called? what is it called? Shoot. Yeah, over, well, the time we get there is equal to velocity squared divided by 2.
So basically, the thrust is the angle of that triangle.
Yeah, so it's velocity squared divided by 2 because, yeah,
Slope of the triangle, like the graph.
yeah, so that would be velocity squared over 2 then, right? Because our velocity squared would just keep on just going up. And so half the time we're not doing it. So, yeah, so that's velocity squared divided by 2. Yeah, but I think that would get us the time it would take for us to get there. I think. That kind of makes sense. Well, what am I doing? I can just pull up Desmos. Give me a second. I'll open up a new tab and just see if it makes sense. You know? Graphing calculator. Because we're trying to get velocity equals acceleration times time. No. Yeah, that would be just us. That divided by 2 is literally just halfway through the line. So t equals distance x divided by okay. Let's not divide this by 2. This is just linear. Why is this linear? Oh, because we're dividing by a constant. Okay, so that's our acceleration. Well, distance divided by accelerate. No, doesn't make sense. Why did I have to do poorly in math? It's all catching up. Okay, the time it takes for us to get somewhere is equal to the distance divided by velocity, normally. Yeah. But velocity... And velocity equals acceleration squared. Or that's the, it doesn't equal, but it's the derivative.
Yeah, exactly. The derivative of which is the velocity squared.
Yeah, that's acceleration. Yeah, acceleration is velocity squared when derived. So...
No, it's not, is it? We also need to multiply by distance.
Distance is a constant. So when you derive, constants are lost. Because
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right. So that should...
well, no, this is inverse. This is the inverse derivative. formula. Somebody out there is gonna cringe so hard when they see this. Okay, we want to calculate the time it takes for us to get there while accelerating. So yeah, I'm right now on Wolfram, just looking it up. Of 2 times the... So 2 times the acceleration times the distance? It would just be A times D. Well, that gets us the time to the half... Well, that gets us the time to the halfway point. Wait, you're dividing inside the square root. Oh, it's halved, so we divide that by 2. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Okay. That equals our total distance. Yeah, no. It would be a separate calculation. Okay. I gotta put this on my crackhead board. So... Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so that gets us our time to get to our time to our halfway point, or the time to get to the target. And that's if we're just constantly accelerating. So, now what? Okay, so that's giving us our time step.
time to the target, and now we can calculate from this time. We can calculate the position of the target after that time. So the thing. Let's actually.
So we can calculate the distance after that time. No, we can't, because that's a different angle.
Okay, so if we say I don't know. What would you call this? What is that?
The prime? The derivative?
Prime. So this is the new
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
P is the position. E is the length of.
How I did it when I was doing those projectile? Yeah, what I was doing when I was doing those projectiles, it was P sub T1. So after time step 1, this is our new position.
I'll just use the.
Prime as the, yeah, for each iteration.
So P prime is. This is T1, I guess. So T. I'll just also use T and then T prime is T like so.
Yeah, yeah.
So P is the velocity, and the velocity here is the total velocity in the system, which is constant. I think that never changes throughout our calculations because we never actually change the velocity because that's the initial velocity. Velocity times t, which is g squared with a and t, which and then we can take p prime, and d is the length of the original p. And then we can calculate p prime of prime. I'll use this. Which is v times 2 times square root of a prime.
So at that point it's looping, but okay.
So this is, let's actually get the full thing, E of n equals.
Well, at this point we're gonna wanna. We're basically pathing. Because, okay, we're trying to find the optimal direction to thrust in to get into a different position.
Yeah, but the thing is, if we didn't do at least a few steps here, then with a high initial velocity, we would be orbital, which was the problem we always had. So it'll probably just take us like 3 steps. But again, we can do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So I think this is the entire.
Oh, did I lose you? No, I thought I lost. It just said this is the entire, and then it just stopped talking. Okay.
Oh, this is the entire calculation.
Well, I'm screenshotting. Okay, so think. Hmm. Now I'm just thinking about it, because that does get us our time to the target, but
Well, it'll also give us the position that we're going to arrive in. I guess the main problem that you're going to have to swap out in your case is the acceleration also changes based on the position.
mm-hmm.
So it's basically more like in the end you'll have
I'm pulling up missile guidance documents from the Department of Defense.
okay. I think this is actually a different calculation.
Yeah, but
Acceleration. No, it's not. The only difference is yeah, it's not a different calculation because in the original thing we have a single acceleration or a single yes. In this case, no, this is a different calculation because instead of an acceleration we had 100%
Mhm.
so instead of starting velocity we now have this square root component.
yeah, I mean, it might also be like a different path to the same thing. I'm just now trying to find like 3-axis interception in Department of Defense documents, because I'm curious if there's anything on it, because I know that there's like, I don't know, I'm trying to think now, because like if we're going to think of this as a military application, we're trying to get our man.
I think what's also cool about your thing is since you have what you can also do is you want to maximize your acceleration, right? And since after a while you'll have the position that you want to arrive at, and you'll probably want to rotate in line with that position.
Yeah, the most optimal way is you're going to take the local maxima and rotate towards it, right? Because it'll take you a time to rotate. So even though you might have more thrust in one axis, if it's going to take you longer to rotate and thrust that entire like time, yeah, that's why I have that like purple circle drawn. Ooh.
But that doesn't really make a difference. So because we're calculating the initial steps, the only thing it's going to do is it's going to make you accelerate faster. As long as, and I think that's a kind of limitation of this is, since you can't rotate on the spot, we are assuming that you can accelerate forward and back or at the same speed. We never make any other assumptions because like the only thing that could happen is that your acceleration increases. It never decreases. And if your acceleration decreases, this is only going to become more accurate.
Yeah. That's why I'm trying to think. I'm just I have the math, thank you, for the acceleration. And that gets me the time it takes for me to get to either the point or halfway through. And then we can just interpolate that. I'm just thinking because like I like to draw these out multiple times until like it either makes sense or I find, a solution. Because that's how it ended up happening that one time I drew it out for somebody. Like I had to redraw the whole thing and I'm like, wait a minute, this makes way more sense than I was trying to do at first. Yeah, no, we are trying to do a missile interception thing.
Yeah, basically.
Because we have a...
Plan something on that. A
No, I did find something on it. Because, okay, if we have Sam here at the bottom, it'll come up here in a second, I'm sure. So we have a Sam that fires a missile upwards, right? We have a missile, we have a velocity, and then what it'll do is it'll predict kind of like an S curve to fire at the target optimally. Okay. And it has like limited thrust in certain axes. It has a limited rotation. Probably. I mean, Department of Defense. There's people firing guns on YouTube. Yeah, this is currently in Godot. Doesn't mean I can't make something in real life. The missile knows where it needs to go because it knows where it's not. Oh man. But no, now I'm thinking about it. No, I'm sure there's some paper on like SAM systems. I know I remember seeing one when I was looking up Department of Defense documents earlier, the last time we did this. Hell yeah. This is my application. I'm looking it up right now. Oh. Never mind. Wrong one. So I found one document. Good. This is ICBM. Yeah, literally. Well, no. So it depends. If it's a dumbfire, the first generation of the Iron Dome was dumbfire projectiles. So that first projectile thing that we did, that was Iron Dome. Now it has active missile, like active guidance-seeking missiles. Like that's the current Iron Dome, version 2 or 3. I can't remember what it's called. And that is what we're doing. We're calculating the Iron Dome. Yeah. Yeah, ballistic missile defense. Yep. I want to see this paper. This is where I get copyrighted by the Scientific American. I get DMCA'd. Well, this is a source, but it's not publicly accessible. You have to request access. Because you have to pay for it. Yeah, log in through your library. I should probably do that, because I know my library has some stuff. Oh my god, we can get our Department of Defense on our asses real fast. There's no way I'm not already on a list after the last one. Software for ballistic missile defense. I mean, wait till you see the document I just pulled up, how official it looks for the 70s or 80s. Oh god. Well, I'm on a list now. It is widely believed that these advances will continue and will be limited only by fundamental physical constraints such as the finite speed of light. This is like, oh man, this is awesome.
God, that's such a LARP quote. Fucking hell, I hated when the biggest fucking nerds write the deadliest fucking papers.
Oh yeah.
I guess in this case it's actually defense.
Because you can't just turn the weapon around.
Well, no, a defense weapon. People surely can. Like, this can really only be used for. Because missile interception is like. That's kind of the only thing you use that for.
Oh wait, this is ballistic missile defense. This is literally what I did. I'm assuming this isn't active. I think I'm ahead of this.
When was this released?
1985.
Yeah, now we're ahead.
I think this is not even like any like calculations like the other one. I think this is just like trying to prove to people, hey, we need to use software to do this.
The funny thing is ballistic missile defense requires a better solution. It is practically impossible to do like active missile, whatever that's called, like rocket missile defense with that one.
Well, the thing that was amazing about that paper I found before is like it had the entire assembly code to operate that prediction system all in one single like paragraph. It's like what, like the entire code was just dumped there. No, it was in C. It was no, it was only like I think. Well, everything except for like the calculations, because what that did is it from a single position. If it knew the size of the target, which you can do with an incidence rangefinder, it can calculate just by viewing from a single point, not even using the incidence rangefinder. As long as it knew the size of the target, it would be like it would basically do what I did, calculate where it is, what its speed is, how it's moving, and then just. Brrr.
But you know, if you really find out the current and what the current code is, you can just go in the War Thunder to ask them.
Oh, 100%. Is this SAM accurate? Page 139.
They might actually ban you just because you're not like historically in the right era, or are they bound to a specific time?
Who?
The War Thunder thing.
Anything that's still classified. Oh, you mean on the forums? I think it's just any classified information.
No, because I think the thing is, no, what I was talking about is like other games will care like, oh, this is World War II, we don't actually give a shit.
Oh, War Thunder doesn't care anymore. They have modern shit now.
Yeah, and that's why they have classified stuff up there. It's because they care about more modern stuff, which probably is a less relevant.
Keep it historic.
Yeah, keep it historic enough so it's not classified.
Some of these photos are nuts. It's like, yes, this is a photo of a rocket launching. And all you see is just like one of those like things that they'd show you. What do you see in this photo? Because it's so like contrast.
Yeah, this is what it looks like when the mortar lands.
This is-
Like, it was a video where no one was hurt because it was like a building nearby that they were currently moving. And it was like, I think an army or something like a missile that landed. And I was like, yeah, like, you know, in a movie you think, oh yes, it explodes. No, it's just gone.
Yeah, it's kind of terrifying. What time is it? It's 11:52. All right, I'm gonna hop off for like about a half hour so I can finish some stuff up with work before midnight, and then we'll be back. But I found multi-layered space defense, so maybe we'll find something in that one. Yeah, I've gotten that. Yeah.
I was gonna make some corn dogs a couple of hours ago, and I forgot I took them out and just left them on the couch. Oh my god.
Corn dog.
I'm probably also, yeah, I'll probably stick around because I'm really curious.
Dude, that's what some people have done, and they're here until like 4 a.m. my time, and right now it's 11:54. But I did find IBM boost phase dynamic model. I think I actually found what I need. Yeah, about a half hour.